Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. Tonight we'll have all your international, national, and local news. I'm Cade Montgomery.
And I am Leslie Krebs. As the Israel-Hamas war continues, talk of ceasefire isn't the only topic that protesters are calling for. Learn about who is demonstrating and what for.
And hear an update on the cleanup, recovery, and construction of Baltimore's collapsed bridge.
All this and more coming up on Newsnight. This past Friday, Ecuadorian police broke into the Mexican embassy located in Quito to arrest Jorge Glass, the former Ecuadorian vice president. This caused Mexico to sever its ties with Ecuador, which Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador announced late that evening.
Over the last 3 days, Pittsburgh has received 4.07 inches in rain, according to the National Weather Service.
I love the incline. I don't use it for regular transportation, but every now and then I'll go on there and I just love the view that it provides. So
Fun little trip.
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
a fun
say,
little trip.
I have such a fond memory when I was a kid. I think I was like 4 or 5, went to see an iconic Pittsburgh Pirates game with my parents. And I don't really remember much about the Pittsburgh trip, but the one thing I do remember is going on the Mon Incline together. I was a little scared, didn't love the heights, but looking back, it's one of my fondest memories. And I think the last time I went on it was last year sometime, and even better. I mean, the views at night,
I know.
my favorite thing. So I'm so glad that it's reopening, and I'll be able to get on it once more.
Hopefully with less shaking this time.
The new queen announced on New Year's Eve that she would be abdicating due to health issues, as she most recently underwent major back surgery last year. All the Democratic candidates for the PA Supreme, Commonwealth, and Superior Court have made it known that they support the right to abortion, with all being backed by Planned Parenthood PAC. Candidates Jill Beck and Tamika Lane not only have the support of Planned Parenthood, but are backed by reproductive, women's, and educators organizations. These insects carry deadly diseases such as dengue fever, yellow fever, West Nile virus, and malaria. Once foreign to the U.S., dengue fever and malaria have begun popping up in states such as Texas, Florida, and Maryland, creating a potential crisis.
As well as saying, quote, it's going to be hypothermia real fast. You come out of the winds blowing, it's not going to be a pretty situation without proper adequate clothing. For now, Pittsburgh Police has released no further information. Reporting for Point News, I'm Leslie Krebs. Currently, the river is at 24 feet and is expected to rise even further. Mon Wharf also began to flood early in the morning this past Wednesday. The dividers and street are no longer visible.
It was an attempt to increase financial stability for workers in a notoriously low-paying job in a state with skyrocketing cost of living prices. Another reason for the pay increase is due to the fact most workers are adults trying to provide for their families, not young teens. After decimating his opponents, Nayib Bukele, better known as the Millennial President, won another 5-year term in office as El Salvador's president this past Sunday. Human rights activists are calling it a miss and are unimpressed. They feel the king used careful terminology to move around the subject, similar to former Queen Elizabeth's methods of not touching on controversial subjects regarding England's violent history. However, the king isn't entirely to blame for this moment, as he is supposedly adhering to the UK's foreign policy. New York Representative George Santos pleaded not guilty to fraud charges involving him being accused of stealing people's identities and charges on donors' cards without their knowing. This comes after the previous indictment he faced back in May that involved 13 criminal counts.
Makes Germany just the third country in Europe to legalize the recreational use of cannabis.
Thanks, Catherine. In a win for pro-choice advocates internationally, France has just become the first country to enshrine the right to abortion in its constitution. While in Congress, Hernandez facilitated the importation of cocaine from Honduras from 2004 up until 2022, managing to smuggle more than 400 tons into the U.S. while serving his position in the Honduran government. At around 1:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, a cargo ship struck a critical base component of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing its devastating collapse and the city of Baltimore to be declared in a state of emergency. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Newsnight. If you want to see more, check out our social media pages on both Facebook and Instagram at UView Television.
You can also check out more episodes on our YouTube channel or our website, uview.pointpark.edu. I'm Brendan McNamara.
And I'm Leslie Krebs. From everyone here at Newsnight, thank you for watching and have a great evening.